Hey everyone, welcome back to Trials to Triumph. I'm Pastor Brad Closter from the Rock Church in Bel Air, Michigan. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time like this. We bring this to you on purpose because we know that every single one of us are going through a trial, and every single one of us God wants to take every one of those trials and turn them into triumphs. And so I believe with all of my heart that every one of us have been designed to win by God. We've been designed to have victory by God, but sometimes life is tough and we go through things. And my goal in all of these times that we spend together, even though they're so short, is just to get you some little nugget of something that can help you find victory in your life. And so that's what I'm believing for you. And as we have been talking these last handful of weeks, we've been talking about the commands of Jesus. And Jesus directly commanded us multiple times in the Bible. And obviously, most of them show up during the Gospels because that's the record of his time here on earth. And so we're going through those in sequential order, not really by topic or anything. We're just kind of going through as they appear in the Gospels. So therefore, most of what we're talking about is coming directly from the book of Matthew. And we have been in Matthew chapter 5 for quite a while going through these commands. So Matthew chapter 5 would be a great chapter to read to review all of these commands because obviously he had a lot to say for us in this time. We're going to get into the next one here today, and it's also found in Matthew chapter 5, and this one is in verse 37, and I'm just going to read it for you. Red letters again, it's the command of Jesus, and here's what Jesus said. He said, "But let your yes be yes, and your no be no, for whatever is more than these is from the evil one." And I just want to summarize it like this. Here's the command of Jesus. Keep your word. Be a person of your word. That's not difficult to understand. That's not difficult to, it's way more difficult to do than it is to understand. We know how to do that. We know we're supposed to do that. But unfortunately, I think you and I probably know many people who are not people of their word, and they say one thing and they do something different. They maybe even have great intentions, but the follow-through is lacking. And I just want to challenge you to be a person who does he does what he says he's going to do, and he lives the way he says he's going to live. You know, there's been a term floated around, and you'll recognize the term because you've probably all heard the word hypocrite. And you know, there wouldn't be such thing as a hypocrite if there weren't people who were not people of their word. And if there were Christians who did what they said they were going to do and lived the way they said they were going to live, we wouldn't have such a title. You know, I thought about this, and I actually heard someone speaking about this the other day. You know, if we really truly wanted more of God in our life, if we really truly wanted more of his presence in our life, would we really be dealing with on a full church level, I'll say nationwide, would we really be dealing with some of the scandals and some of the sin that we're dealing with right now if we really truly wanted the presence of God in our life? You know, to me, those are people who aren't keeping their word, because maybe they stand up in front of a crowd and they say one thing, but behind closed doors are something else. And I don't want that to be for me, and I certainly don't want that to be for you either. I think every single one of us, we should really examine ourselves and say, am I a person of my word? Do I live the way that I'm portraying? Is my life accurate in terms of the way that Jesus wants me to live? This is what I say. After all, if I call myself Christian, I'm labeling myself as Christ-like. Boy, that's something to think about, huh? That I'm labeling myself as Christ-like. Now, am I living up to that standard? Now, I'm not talking about, earning your salvation through your works. I'm just talking about doing what we say we're going to do. that we follow through with our words, we follow through with our lifestyle, we follow through with our actions. We are a person, we are people that do what we say we're going to do. And I think it's very, Proverbs chapter 12 says that lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. It did not say lying lips of a Christian, lying lips from a sinner, lying lips from a man, lying lips from a woman. It just said if you have lying lips, it is an abomination to the Lord. Now, I don't know about you, but that makes me want to be sure that I'm not a person with lying lips. I want to be a person who is accurately speaking and acting accordingly. It doesn't matter what comes up in life. I want to be a person of my word. I want my words, my lifestyle, my actions, my deeds, all of it, however you can categorize it. I want to be a person who is truthful, and I want to deal with truth because you know what? What does the Bible say about truth? That he who knows the truth will set you free. And so let that be our motivation. Let that be what we strive for, is to live in truth, to speak truth, to live in truth, to demonstrate truth, that the words of our mouth, what's in our heart and our actions are all saying and pointing us in the right direction. And they're all in a common direction, and that is the direction of glorifying Jesus. And so let that be our prayer, that every single one of us is a person of truth, not only because we want to obey the commandments of Jesus, but because it's the right way to do, and it's the right way to live and be an example to those around us. Hey, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope that helped you, and may you be a person of truth from this moment forward. We will see you next time on Trials to Triumph.